Hello and welcome to today's Rising Match Day, this Saturday the 24th of July. I'm Owen Evans, here to talk you through all the stories ahead of tonight's Phoenix Rising game against San Diego Loyal. Coming up on the show. There's a new man at the back, but we're yet to get a glimpse of him. Will he make his first appearance this weekend? They might be firing on all cylinders at home, but away, it's a different story. But what's behind that? And it's a last clash with San Diego, save for a potential playoff meeting this fall. But what will it take to beat Loyal? But first, let's take a look back to last weekend as Rising met LA Galaxy 2. Just over 2 weeks ago, these sides also met at Wild Horse Pass, Rising coming out on top then by 3-0. But there are quite a few changes to this Rising starting 11. And it had taken till half hour had been played this time, but a corner flicked on by what looks to be either Kevon Lambert or Joey Farrell, or maybe a combination of the two, makes its way over to James Musa, who tucks it away for his first of the season, Rising up 1-0. Then, Rising double the advantage. They win the ball back deep in the LA Galaxy half. It makes its way over to Rufat Dadashov, who runs into the penalty area and selfishly plays the ball across the edge of the 6-yard box to Solomon Asante for an easy close range finish. Asante soon to return the favour. It looks as though he's lost the ball here, but an absolutely awful clearance from LA Galaxy 2 lets him instead knock it across to Rufat Dadashov, who's in pretty much the same position as Solo was for his goal, and he buries it to make it 3 before the break. Into the second half, and again it's Solomon Asante setting this up. A perfect pinpoint cross into the area finds substitute David Egbo, who might have had to twist for that header, but he does drive it home to make it 4-0. And then, with the clock ticking down, Rising with a quick break out of their own penalty area. Asante with a flick before he's wrestled to the ground very strongly, but Egbo's in the clear, taps it through the keeper's legs at least 40 yards from goal, and pretty much runs it into the net with a late blast of a shot there. That would do it on the evening. Rising come out 5-0 victors. Here's the reaction from Rick from after that match.
Yeah, I thought the guys did really well. The first half we had a few shaky moments, but we were trying to be a little bit different in our build-up play, and I think that James and Joey were a bit nervous early on, but settled in really well, and it always helps when you get a couple of goals, and with Solo Asante on the field, you always know something good's going to happen.
So for Rising, it was all about those last 15 minutes of each half. Lots of shots in the end for Phoenix, but every single one that was on target went in. Also impressive was the discipline, Rising picking up only 1 yellow card to Los Doses' 6. Between their 2 meetings so far this season, Rising outscoring Galaxy 2 by 8-0. So a quality performance from Solomon Asante earns him USL Championship Player of the Week. But for the unsung heroes at the back, there's also some recognition. Joey Farrell named to Team of the Week, James Musa an honourable mention.
Musa was honourable mention, and 'cause he got a goal, and I think Philly had the assist and saved it off the line. But Philly, I told him this morning in training, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, 4 years or 3 years here. That's the first time I've made Team of the Week." I said, "No one ever looks at our defense at Phoenix Rising," so I was pretty happy for him, and I think Ben and the back four have really taken a lot of pride in getting the shutouts and being a part of our offense and helping our attack. So we're getting there. We're getting better each week, and that's the focus right now.
Feels great. Obviously, getting personal recognition is always a good feeling, but I like to get the 3 points and the shutout more. So that was the big thing for me this week.
Looking up top, though, there's competition there as well. David Egbo and Rufat Dadashov both scoring in that last match, and with Rick likely to only ever start one of them at a time, giving him something of a selection headache. But how do you deal with that?
Well, it's interesting because I think David is not fully fit yet. He's still he hasn't played a lot of games since college, and I think you see that when he comes in the game, he brings another element to our team, and he really changes the level of the game. When you start him, I think he's fantastic early, but he's getting there. He's building up his fitness. He's running extra every day. I think when David is fully fit and ready to go, he's going to be dynamite. So, and Rufat, we know that he's extremely smart and he can finish when he gets his opportunities. It's a great problem to have. When you can go 60-30 either way with either one of them, it really is a good balance for the team.
Meanwhile, there's also competition at the back with the addition of a new centre-back. Manuel Madrid signing last week for Rising, although he didn't feature on the weekend. It's unclear if his visa will be ready for him to feature in the match tonight. He has, however, been training with the squad, and here's what Joey Farrell had to say about his new teammates settling in.
Good. I know he's working on his English a little bit, so he's getting that out of the way, but he seems to be enjoying it. The weather here has been great. So he's breaking a little sweat, but I think he's liking it, and he seems to be enjoying the States so far.
And of course, what does that competition mean at the back?
Oh, I love it. It's not my first time, as we had the question earlier in this interview, it's not my first time dealing with that type of adversity or that type of competition. I think in order to win championships, you need to be not only 11 deep, you need to be 24 deep. So bringing in players after player after player to increase competition at every position is an important thing. Good teams have 11 players, great teams and championship teams have 24.
Well, let's take a look around the rest of the Pacific Division. We'll start at Orange County, where they were up against out of division RGV. And a terrible start for the hosts. Look at the build-up play here from deep in their own end. The visitors picking apart space left by the OC defenders, before eventually the ball put in for Juan Carlos Azacar, who gives the Texas side a lead with less than 2 minutes on the clock. It would remain close for much of the game, but RGV putting it out of sight late on. Ronald Alexis Cerritos brought down quite clearly in the penalty area by Kobe Henry. No real arguments about the call there. Rodrigo Lopez, familiar face formerly of Sacramento, steps up to double the advantage. The final score there, 2-0 to RGV. Meanwhile in Texas, El Paso hosting Las Vegas Lights in another interdivision game. Into the second half, Ada Borelli picking up the ball close to the touchline. He puts one into the box which finds the head of Aaron Gomez for the only goal of the match. El Paso winning it 1-0. So one last clash to look at this past week. Again, it's Las Vegas Lights away to Real Monarchs last night. Lots of goals in this one. It's Lights who get us started. Cal Jennings slipping this one through the defence to Christian Torres, who makes it 1-0. Monarchs bring it level before the break. Oris Briggs leaves this one for Charlie Weehan, who delivers a finish his older brother Chris would have been happy with. 1-1. But after the break, it's Lights regaining the lead. The reverse of earlier, Christian Torres feeding a low cross to Chris Jennings, who gives Vegas a 2-1 lead. But again, Monarchs bring them back level. Max Mata claiming he got a touch on it on the way, and he's credited with the goal. There was just enough time for one last twist in this one. Hezon Ramirez brought down in the penalty area deep into stoppage time. Milan Orlowski steps up in the 96th minute to tuck it away. So not much change in the league table now, not very surprising though. The only Pacific Division side to earn points in the last week is Phoenix Rising. That extends the lead at the top of the table to 5. Every other match besides Rising's against Los Dos, an inter-division game, with the Pacific Division side ending up the loser. One other in-division clash today, that's Orange County against Sacramento at 7. LA Galaxy 2 hosts Oakland Roots tomorrow at 5. Vegas will host Orange County in a Tuesday night fixture, with Tacoma Defiance playing host to San Diego on Thursday. Well, Rising might be looking impressive at home, but that's not been the case on the road. In fact, the only side they've beaten away this season is Sacramento. So what's behind those road struggles?
10,000 people supporting you is a start. Most of the fields in our league are not as wide and as big as ours. The surface is not as flat. So, and I think we play a little bit faster at home, but that's only out of choice. You know, it's not an excuse. I think when our guys go on the road, we have a tendency to kind of play a little tentative at times. So it's extremely important that we stay aggressive and we stay focused on what we're trying to do, and make sure that we play our game rather than trying to adjust to the opponents.
Yeah, in this league, playing on the road is always tough. We've been able to make this place a fortress here at a Wild Horse Pass. So other teams are trying to do that at their own home place. So going on the road, you have to deal with travel, you have to deal with staying in hotels, you have to deal with the other fans and refs in the other cities. So it's always a challenge, but I think mentally we prepare the same way we do as at home, and we just have to be professional and come out and do our best. We believe we can get 3 points in every game this year, so we go out going for 3 points and we play our best. So,
I mean, like, everyone playing at home, it's like they have like a different energy, they have like a different motivation. So I mean, they have that motivation with their fans backing them, but I think we need to use that as our motivation as well to get us going, that we're on the road and we need to, like, not really like play differently, but play smarter in a way that we can take home the 3 points.
Well, looking ahead specifically to tonight, what can we expect from this match?
Well, it's on the road, difficult game, good team. They're in a good run of form, but I think we have to remind ourselves what the first game of the season was like, the mentality that we had going into that match. It was like we had something to prove because preseason wasn't very good. So from a tactical standpoint, we know everything we need to know about them and what they tried to do. But we've also got some different players available for this match, so I think it'll be fun. This is the last of the 4 games, and we don't have to worry about them anymore, and just keep focusing. To us, really, it's just another game to get 3 points, hopefully, and to move on to the next.
The past 2 meetings between these two sides, Rising have dropped points, but what are the main factors behind that?
Well, the game on the road, Jack Blake hit 2 shots from 25, 30 yards out. But sometimes you just have to tip your hat to the opposition. I thought the last 25 minutes we were very good. They were bunkered in a little bit and they held on. They know how to kill the clock because they're experienced, but they're a very good team. Well coached, well organized. I mean, look, you don't want to play in a league where it's, in theory, easy, which it never is. I think people don't understand that LA Galaxy 2 is loaded with talented players, and for people to think that it's easy for us to just go out and win games is kind of naive. It's a very, very difficult league. Most of the teams are spending about the same amount of money. You know, and it's fun. It's a great challenge, but there's no one specific thing that I would turn to. I mean, everyone talks about us, what the problems are when we drop points, but no one says what did we do well when we take points. So,
well, the one player mentioned in there, certainly one to watch, San Diego's Jack Blake.
Blake, long range again! There's the brace! 2 for 2! Jack Blake again with a rocket!
I mean, Jack is a really good player. I mean, he's been terrific this season. He's always been like really good. I think he's gonna pose some threat for sure. So, I mean, we just need to like, we're not gonna go there and like focus on one player though. We're just gonna go there, stick together as a team, work together really hard, and hopefully we'll come out with the 3 points.
Phoenix getting away a little bit from there. Back and forth rotation. Here is Blake! Back of the net! Long range again for Jack Blake!
well, when he comes inside, we just have to be aware of it because he likes to get in between the lines. And generally, when we're playing with one holding midfielder, they'll bracket either side of Lambert. So it just depends on, do we want to step up? And I think that, you know, they're a little bit different now that they don't have Miguel Berry, so they've lost a threat in behind. You know, some of the other players that they have are not as physically talented as Miguel Berry, so I think we can take a little bit more risks in stepping to close him. But it really, when he does come inside with the ball, we just have to stay compact and force him to play back out wide. And we generally kind of stay man-to-man in those situations. But a guy like this, you have to make sure that you make it as difficult as possible, and if he hits another 30-yarder, you tip your hat. I mean, that's just the way that it is. You know, not many players can do that on a regular basis.
Jack Blake, who takes this on and scores! What a strike from Jack Blake! San Diego doubles the lead and silences the crowd in Phoenix.
Well, Jack Blake leading his side in both goals and assists. Of his 4 goals, 3 of them coming against Phoenix Rising. He's also just tied down his future in SoCal with a contract extension in the last week. But looking at his side as a whole, are there any surprises left? This is the 4th meeting between these two sides since the end of April. But what kind of a challenge does that frequency of meeting pose?
Playing a team 3-4 times in a season is always tough, and San Diego, we're less than halfway through our year, and we're about to be through 4 games with them. So that definitely presents a challenge. Playing a teams back to back like that, it kind of makes it a little bit more tactical than necessarily some of the other games. It's just kind of spirit, emotion. So right now it's definitely going to be a tactical battle. So we are preparing for that, and we know what San Diego is going to try and throw at us. So we're trying to prepare ourselves best for that, and they know what we're going to throw at them, so hopefully we just get more punches in than they do.
Is there any chance, though, that San Diego could spring a surprise?
No, I don't think so. Because, like, they beat us the last time, so they're going to probably think that they can come again with the same thing and beat us again. So I think that maybe they'll do the same thing what they did the last game. So, but we'll be prepared.
Well, that's all we have time for today. Tonight's game, a 7:30 p.m. kickoff at Torero Stadium. I won't be there. I'm on CONCACAF Gold Cup duty tonight instead. But before we go, it's expected to be Solomon Asante's 100th appearance for the club tonight. So enjoy this montage of his goals for Rising and enjoy the match. Goodbye.